You're listening to Women in Wellness, a program to help you create gorgeous growth for your blissful business in health and wellness. I'm Dr. Gabby, holistic health expert and founder of Women in Wellness, a one-of-a-kind course and community designed to empower and inform you about how to build a purposeful and profitable holistic business. I'm very excited for today's interview. I've invited Alyssa Brigandi. Alyssa is a certified health coach and founder of Healthy Appetites. She educates families about the benefits of healthy nutrition, exercise, and essential oils while providing them with the tools that they need to live a healthy life. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
This is very exciting.
It is very exciting.
I love that you work with families, that's your specialty, and I know we're going to talk a lot about that, but before we get into that, can you tell me how you became a health coach and what your journey was to get here?
Sure. So I've always been health conscious and in living an active lifestyle growing up. But my wellness journey really did begin about 5 years ago when my daughter was in first grade. I volunteered in her classroom on a weekly basis and was often there during snack time. So I got to see the kinds of food that kids were eating during like this mid-morning break. And I was rather surprised by the types of food that they were eating.
Really? It wasn't all healthy food?
Not at all. And a lot of it was, processed. Very little fruits or veggies. A lot of the drinks, it was the sugary pouches or boxes, sometimes candy. And it was shocking to me. And snack time is just such an important time for children because it kind of tides them over for a few, several hours between breakfast and then lunch.
And was that different than what you were feeding her at home?
Yeah. Well, I mean, each parent would send their own child with.
Okay.
So I felt good that she was still eating healthy, but I was watching the behaviors in the classroom and making the connection with what they were eating. Sugar, it makes kids more active. So I was surprised in that. So I knew that there had to be a change. So that's when I developed Healthy Appetites.
And what is Healthy Appetites? What's the mission of that?
So my mission is to really educate families on healthy eating, having a healthy lifestyle, keeping very active. But I also help navigate families who deal with ADHD and sensory processing disorders and other behavioral challenges.
Do you think that's a common thing? Do you see a lot more kids have behavioral problems and attention problems?
Oh, absolutely. Schooling in general has really changed over the last 30 years. And where, some classrooms, teachers are only experiencing, 1 to 2 children having, extra energy or inattention. Now it's not uncommon to have 8 or more children in one classroom
that are all hyperactive and struggling?
That are struggling with, just focusing and being able to attend to all the educational challenges that they're faced. I mean, their workload on a daily basis is huge for any child, but it's a constant struggle for children with ADHD.
That's really interesting to me. And I want to dive more into that. But before I dive into that, I want to hear more about your journey from the day that you saw the snacks to the place where you are now. What was that process? Did you go get educated?
Well, at first I just started offering some healthy cooking classes to the kids as like an after school enrichment program. So I thought that if I taught them how to cook healthy food, then they would in turn, show their parents what they did, and it would kind of, cycle over to the parents, and then they'd be cooking together and, all this healthy food. And that's true. But part of it, a large part of it, you have the education has to begin with the families, because they are the parents are the ones that are purchasing the food. So it has to start there and then trickle on down, because if the food isn't there to begin with, it's not it's kind of a lost cause. So
Okay.
that's when I decided to, I felt like I needed more validation. So I went and I got my certification as a health coach.
And what was that like?
It was great. I chose the Dr. Sears Wellness Institute,
Okay.
and a lot of it was science-based health coaching, and I felt comfortable in that because prior to staying home with my children, I worked in the healthcare field, so I had the science-based knowledge already, so I felt confident in that. But the holistic part was really um, deep within me already, and that's how we live as a family, and that's how we've always raised our children, so it was kind of a no-brainer.
So did any of that knowledge then from your previous career carry over into the work that you're doing now, the health coaching?
Yeah, because I mean there is the biophysical connection between like the brain and the gut, and everything's all connected, and there really is a science to it all. However you choose to treat it is up to you, whether it's holistically or with conventional medicine, but it really does start with the science. So I felt good having that knowledge in my toolbox.
Right. And when you say holistically, I know that you deal with nutrition and oils and things
Yeah,
like this. Can you tell us a little bit about your philosophy of holistic? What does it mean to have a holistic approach?
sure. I like the idea, or the thought that you need to look at the person as a whole, not just as at a specific ailment or a specific problem. Um, you need to treat the whole body before you can really treat or heal the specific problem. Um, so that's the route that I usually take.
Cool. And how did oils factor into the work that you were doing?
Sure. We use essential oils and as a family, and I fell in love with them, and I wanted to share them with other people and other families because I was seeing the positive results that I was having. My son, he has ADHD himself, and we chose a holistic approach to caring for him versus conventional medicine. And so the essential oils combined with like a gluten-free diet, we saw a huge difference in his behavior, in his attention, in his learning. Um, so it's amazing and it's wonderful, and I'm just so happy that we chose that route, um, and we have that.
Can you walk us through a little bit for people that are listening that maybe know someone with ADHD? What are some things that they might try that would help them?
Sure. Um, I always try to encourage parents to ask themselves, what can I do, before they ask, what can I take. So playing around with their diet, a lot of times, just eliminating sugar, that's a big one. Switching over to a gluten-free diet, has studies have shown that that's been beneficial. It's helped us immensely. And then things such as yoga, that's been a great support for us and other children that I work with. Outdoor exercise every day. I can't stress enough how important it is for children to be active. Getting outside, getting that fresh air, getting a change of scenery. It really does make a difference. Just keep them active, active, active.
And this is the advice that you're giving to moms and to families to help them to manage their kids?
Yeah, because I mean, conventional medicine or taking a pill, that's the quicker way. It really, I mean, to pop a pill and feel all right and see a change, that's faster than, say, doing an elimination diet. You need to take out dairy and see how that goes for a couple weeks, and then reintroduce it and take out something else, and then the oils, that takes some time as well, and you have to be consistent. It's Consistency is key, but it takes a longer amount of time. But if if you persevere and you push through, I really believe it's worth it.
And why do you think that's more worthwhile than just doing the quick pill?
Well, there's several different reasons. One, there are a lot of side effects that occur with just taking a pill, um, and you're just treating you're masking the symptoms basically. As with holistic care, you're treating them as a whole body, and you're just enriching their life, and you're empowering them to have a choice in their health care. You're here. Look and see how your body feels when you go for a run, or you go outside and play, or hey, eat this instead of that. Tell me what your body feels like. And it's amazing to listen to kids find what feels good to them, and that's really empowering, and you're setting them up for success as an adult, really.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you seen any big transformations or changes in some of the people that you work with?
Oh, sure. I also, besides my practice, I also work in special education, on an elementary school level, and I'm a co-facilitator for a program called Start Your Engines. It's for kiddos who have, let's say, just a little bit of extra energy that they need to get out before they enter the classroom. So it's a program where we use exercise, such as running and jumping, and as well as yoga, to get them ready for their day. And I lead the yoga part of it. And one day I was working with all 30 children at once, and we were all doing yoga. And at the end of our little session, all 30 of them yelled out "Namaste" without even prompting, without even a prompting of that. Or, I mean, it's wonderful to like watch their reaction and watch the smile on their face, or the comments of, oh, I like to stand in tree, or could we do triangle, because that makes that really feels good on stretching out on it's great to empower children.
And I talk to a lot of people, a lot of health coaches or different practitioners that want to work in the school system. How did you manage to bring wellness into the school system, to be in a position to teach yoga and healthy eating? How did that happen?
Well, I was persistent. I knew that, there's a lot of research being done, and that it's really needed for children today, where there's so much focus on their academics, and let's add more time to schooling, and let's take away recess. We're seeing a lot of spikes in their behavior and declining in test scores. It's not balancing out as educators had thought, I think.
Right.
And so I kept being persistent.
So you were like knocking on the superintendent's door and saying, "We got to do yoga." Like what?
Well, the yoga, I mean, they started doing it a little bit before I picked it up, but I just walked in with my yoga pretzels card deck and said, here, there's 4 poses we're going to do this morning. And the kids just took on to it themselves. Like, they were asking for it, and they were excited once they got to my center to do the yoga. You give them something different, they're going to be more engaged. So yeah, it's really great.
And so you're part of this group that I do, this Women in Wellness group, right? And so we talk about, some of the challenges of building a business, a health coach practice or yoga practice or things like that. Is there anything that came up for you that if someone's listening and they're trying to implement things like this, is there anything that you've overcome, any challenges that you faced that maybe you learned a good lesson?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not very tech savvy. There's a lot out there, a lot of programs that I knew nothing about, and just listening to the other health coaches give ideas on our weekly call has been immensely helpful to me. The business side of the health coaching was a challenge for me. I found that, just because you're an entrepreneur doesn't mean that, you know, you feel supported all the time. It's very easy to feel like you're all alone if you're not part of a group like Women in Wellness. And I'm so, so incredibly thankful that I found you guys. It's been huge. It's taking me out of my comfort zone. I'm a little bit of an introvert and I get nervous talking to people.
Like, tell us about that. So do you have an example of maybe someone that you kind of wanted to talk to, but you were hesitant or procrastinating, and then you finally did it and it worked out?
Sure. I actually, just this past week, I met with an amazing woman who developed this program, this outdoor education program for children. And I was going to listen to her speak. And earlier I had like sent her a letter and wanting to collaborate with her, but I never followed up on it. So when I walked into the room, she remembered who I was because my son is part of her camps. And she remembered who I was, and she remembered that I had sent her a letter, and I just blurted it out. I really want to collaborate with you. I really want to get something, done together, and she's totally on board with it. And so
Awesome.
I don't think without the group, I don't think I would have taken that leap.
But what a great leap, right?
It was
Because
huge.
it's such a good match for you to work
Yeah.
with her. She's working with the kids and you're working with the kids, and it's such a good match, and you guys can have twice as much impact by working together. So it's
Right.
amazing.
It is. It's a perfect blend of her philosophy is like everything that I resonate with it so well. It's so important, and I'm glad that I had the courage to just say it instead of like handing her another business card, like, give me a call sometime. I don't know.
Yeah.
I felt stronger. It was wonderful.
One of my favorite things about being in this industry is the openness to collaboration. I find that people in the health and wellness industry are very open to, let's lead a retreat together, let's write a book together,
Right.
let's teach a class together,
Absolutely. And I feel like there's no competition. There's more people are willing to work together. There's enough health and wellness to go around for everyone that nobody needs to compete with the other person or have hard feelings about it. It's just everybody wants to help everybody. I mean, that's why we're in this business, is to help people. And what greater people to help than like-minded other coaches. So it's wonderful.
Yeah. Do you have any sort of top level advice for school systems that want to integrate a wellness program? I mean, what would you say is the best strategy to kind of, I don't know if it's like overhauling the system or maybe just putting in little pieces to keep all the kids healthy?
Yeah. I would love to see essential oils used in the classrooms.
Why?
Well, if we could have a diffuser in each classroom and diffuse some lavender and kind of like, have a state of calmness a little bit, and, or have an immunity blend and, going through the diffuser and, try to combat all the school illnesses that always come around every year and cut down on absences. That would be wonderful.
Nice.
If
It would be more like a spa-like classroom.
if we could have like a Zen feel in the classroom, that would be awesome. My work would be done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So if people are listening and they want to work with you one-on-one, or they want to get advice about oils, are you available for that kind of stuff?
I am. I host or I give either private consultations, one-on-one consultations, or as a group. I love meeting with families together, even with the children, so that I can hear what they have to say. They have their own feelings and their own thoughts, and most of the time they don't mind telling you. So I do love working with the families together.
That's really great. So where can people find you if they want to contact you?
Sure. So I have a Facebook page called Healthy Appetites LLC. And then I also have a website called www.healthyappetitesllc.com. www.blogspot.com.
Nice. And you're writing about this and you're giving some recipes and things?
I do. I share recipes. I give updates on any upcoming events that I may be having with essential oils or enrichment classes, cooking classes for children. I always post the updates right on my website.
I need a cooking class for children because I can cook like 3 things.
Well, I'm at your service.
It was so awesome that you were here with us today and you shared all this with. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This is
My
wonderful.
pleasure. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. You can join the Women in Wellness Club at women-in-wellness.com.